Hello and welcome to ResearchPod. Today we are discussing a modern scientific classification and self-assessment system to determine a person's unique personality style. It is called the New Personality Self-Portrait25 or NPSP25. It's the work of psychiatrist John M. Oldham MD in longtime collaboration with mental health journalist and author Lois B. Morris, and more recently psychologist Alok Madan, PhD. One thing we know about personality is that everybody has one, and everybody has a different one. Philosophers and healers have struggled through the ages to explain the confounding differences among people. Here's a question that a student of Aristotle posed in the 3rd century BC. Why is it that while all Greece lies under the same sky and all Greeks are educated alike, nevertheless we are all different with respect to personality? Why is that, and why do we need to know? Well, for one thing, we have to live and work together in order to survive. And for another, each of us has to fit into our own circumstances and relationships in order to thrive. The ancient Greeks believed that the balance of 4 bodily humours, blood, yellow bile, black bile and phlegm, could account for all variations in health and behaviour. Correcting imbalances was key to a healthy body and mind. The NPSP25 is a more powerful, internet-only version of a test first published in a 1990 book by Oldham and Morris, called the Personality Self-Portrait: Why You Think, Work, Love and Act the Way You Do. The 2nd edition, first published in 1995, is titled The New Personality Self-Portrait. This edition remains in print in several languages today, with excerpts, charts and graphs available through npsp25.com. Fundamentally, the NPSP25 is a tool for picturing this orderly arrangement. Once you complete a lengthy questionnaire, your scores are plotted along 14 normal, non-pathological personality styles. With noticeable peaks in one or more styles, dips in others, the distinctive shape of the profile is your own unique personality self-portrait. We could describe this as your organizing principle: what's normal for you. This self-portrait and an extensive interpretation guide can be printed or saved as a PDF, or alternatively you can access it on the site, where it is stored safely and privately. You can compare your self-portrait with those of your partner, family, friends, or your teammates. It's also possible to use the group self-portrait feature to superimpose all your charts on top of one another in separate colours, if everyone agrees to share their data and wants to see how you all compare. You'll have a vivid illustration of how your group functions. Couples will be able to see at a glance just how alike or different you are. This is a brand new and important feature of NPSP25. Some of these are illustrated on the NPSP25 site in sample profiles. You can also see the group self-portrait of the NPSP25 team by clicking on the About Us section on the site. The team had shared their individual results with each other many times over the years, but it was only when they began testing the feature on themselves that they understood why they worked so well as a team. The multicolour chart also provided clues to some of their recurring work issues. As they describe on the site, they were able to locate solutions using this tool, and as an added bonus, the process was fun. A group self-portrait with her husband provided a big aha moment for team member Lois Morris. After doing the self-portrait, she realised, after years of marriage, that some of their issues resulted from areas in which they were alike rather than different. They are both highly conscientious, a style characterised by the need to do things the right way, except that they each have a different right way, even down to what they think is the right way to load the dishwasher. It bears repeating that your personality self-portrait reflects the nature of your normal, non-pathological personality, even though the 14 personality styles are derived from the study of personality disorders. Diagnostic criteria for personality disorders are published in the American Psychiatric Association's Standard Reference Text of Psychiatric Diagnoses, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or DSM. The NPSP-25 is the only normal personality self-assessment test that derives from the psychiatric model of personality disorders. Scientifically, it makes sense. Like many measures of health and ill health, such as blood pressure, you can think of personality on a spectrum ranging from life-enhancing to life-threatening. Obviously, you need blood pressure to stay alive, but too much or too little of this biological essential can become a problem. Likewise, each of us has a personality which is necessary to function in this world. But if certain personality traits or styles are too prominent or too minimal, problems can ensue. Consider obsessive-compulsive personality disorder for one. It is characterized by traits such as rigid perfectionism, inability to express emotions, stubbornness, indecisiveness, and excessive devotion to work. But turn the volume down and imagine what these traits might look like if they were no longer extreme. They might be described as conscientious personality style. This is characterized by a clarity about doing the right thing the right way, a willingness to work hard and persevere, prudence, and attention to order and detail. All these are features that can lead to success rather than failure. If you are a strongly conscientious person, you may sometimes seem like a workaholic, but you can call a halt at some point. Perhaps at the suggestion of someone you trust, you can chill for a while. Then return to the task energized and accept that the finished product, even if not perfect, is good enough. This dimensional nature of normal adaptive personality is the guiding principle of the NPSP-25. All 14 styles are the common non-pathological versions of the personality disorders described in recent editions of the Diagnostic Manual. You can see the continuum of styles and disorders by clicking the Personality Style/Disorder button on the home page. Be aware that the NPSP-25 does not diagnose personality disorders. That requires a skilled professional evaluation. Personality disorders are hard to change, although they may be amenable to professional intervention. It is common and normal to worry that personality tests will reveal hidden weaknesses or uncover something seriously awful. As mentioned, the NPSP-25 reveals flexible, life-enhancing personality patterns in 14 styles. Everybody has strengths and vulnerabilities. You'll just see how yours line up. To begin to understand your personality self-portrait, look first at the prominent peak or peaks on the graph. These are the styles that most recognizably steer your personality pattern. These may vary from one or two prominent styles to many. The interpretation guide presents all the style results in descending order of prominence in your personality, including strengths and vulnerabilities and advice for all. Some people reveal a number of moderate to high peaks, others just a couple. But all the results provide information. Nobody is just one personality style, even the one that stands out the most. By consulting the interpretation guide in terms of all the styles measured, you may better appreciate your complexity and hidden strengths. For example, let's say you score low on the self-confidence style. This doesn't mean that you are necessarily devoid of self-confidence. Each style expresses a collection of traits. A low score on the self-confidence style may mean that you are less likely to put yourself forward in competitive situations or are reluctant to present yourself as better than anybody else. But if you have some strength in, say, conscientious style, you get ahead through hard work, and your devoted score might reveal what a good team player you are. And being very high in self-confidence style does not lead to a diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder. You may well fall into the trap of being a bit too me sometimes, but feedback from people who are close to you or a life crisis may be the jolt that gets you to step off your pedestal. Still, If you worry that your self-portrait reveals too much or too little of some styles, the NPS-P25 provides some outside perspective. In the interpretation guide, you will find personality percentile scores for each style in your self-portrait. These indicate how you compare on each style to a sample of over 12,000 people worldwide. You'll probably find you're in good company. There's so much you can learn about your personality style. If anything about these findings troubles you, rest assured that the information within your complete profile analysis provides suggestions for change. Can you change? Should you? The results of the NPS-P25 will help you decide. Most of us have a built-in flexibility factor that allows us eventually to deal with the hurdles that end up thrown in our path. As we proceed through life, we learn to adapt to change, which makes a variety of experiences and expressions of ourselves possible. Indeed, your personality will normally shift and change throughout your life. But even if you have become set in your ways, with sufficient incentive and effort, you can accelerate change. Finally, to appreciate how NPSP can facilitate coping and change, go to the sample profiles on the website homepage. There you'll find out how 3 couples and 1 office team used their individual and group self-portraits to begin to solve their real-life issues. The good news is that we are all interesting and each of us is unique. And if we learn things about ourselves that we're not wild about, at least it's a good starting place to improve yourself. That's all for this episode. Be sure to stay tuned to ResearchPod for more of the latest science. See you again soon.